Hello, this is Chiak. We're continuing with the Murder is Game Over series, this time with the second game, Deal Killer. Apparently, I mean, this is probably going to be another one shot here because these games are short. I think this one was 2.5 hours long, supposedly, so we will see. Have you played? Yes. First case before, yes. Okay, great. Welcome back. Alright, introductions. Present day. When this whole adventure started, I was at home looking through the day's mail. In the middle of a pile of coupons for video games, there it was. A certified letter from the desk of Billy Kramer, President and CEO of Hitheryon Games. It was addressed to Cleo and myself. I like how he puts the dog first before himself. That could just be, I mean, that could just be proper grammar and all that, but... Detective Guy and Cleo. I heard about you through that business of the Gargoyle's Curse when you performed so brilliantly. I am writing to summon you for my own help at this current juncture. Since the deal to sell off Hitheryon Games to Comp Inc. has nearly become finalized, I start receiving death threats because of the detailed, personal nature of the writing. I believe that the sender is someone close to me. I fear for my personal safety, which is why I have called upon both of you to join me. Your airline tickets shall arrive in tomorrow's mail. You and Cleo shall meet me in the Italian Alps at a private Christmas party for my inner circle to celebrate the buyout. I hope to see you soon. William Kramer, the first. Okay, so this is the father of Billy Kramer, I'm gonna assume? I didn't believe it either, but the next day the airline tickets arrived as promised, and Cleo and I were on a plane headed for Torino Airport in northwest Italy. Before we knew it, we were riding on the back of a chartered snowmobile taking us way up into the mountains. But dogs just... okay. Excuse me, driver, where exactly are we going? The Cresta di Montego Hotel. It's at the top of the ridge, 10 kilometers away from the nearest town. Can we make it there in this horrendous snowstorm? Not to worry, I've been shuttling guests in these mountains for years. It may look treacherous, but I'm used to these conditions. You're not the first to ask, and I assure you that I'm not the one you need to be afraid of. Be afraid of? What do you mean by that? They say the Cresta di Montagna Hotel and the surrounding area is haunted. I guess you two haven't heard of the legend of the White Lady before. No, should we have? If you treat me to a steak dinner and a couple of rounds of drinks sometimes, I'll tell you all about it too. With that, Cleo and I arrived at the small, isolated Alpine hotel on top of a craggy mountain ridge. Now I see why we had to be brought here by snowmobile. The terrain is so steep there are no roads. While the inside of the hotel was toasty warm, our welcoming reception was not. The president of Hitheryon Games is a very busy man. I just verified with Senior Mr. Kramer himself, and I assure you that you're not on the party attendance list. We don't want any more uninvited guests. The Senior Mr. Kramer paid to bring us here. He sent this letter in the mail. What letter? I better not let these guys see it, since his letter mentioned death threats from someone close to him. The contents of the letter are private, confidential matter between the client and myself. What nerve! Why would my dad even consider calling on a common detective like you? There must be some strange misunderstanding. I'm sorry you've been put through this inconvenience. I'll call for the snowmobile driver to shuttle you back as soon as possible. Cleo and I must speak to Senior Billy Kramer at once. Where is he? Get out of my way and let me do my job. Oh, lights out. Is there... Hey, who turned out the lights? The power must have gone out because of the storm. Cleo, do you hear that strange singing? I can't tell where it's coming from. The investigation. Short while later. Okay, so is he dead? Is Billy Kramer the first dead? So you're a detective. We could really use your help. That's right, detective guy at your service. Why do you have the dog? Oh, this is my detective partner Cleo, the clue-sniffing dog. Cleo can find clues that we humans can't. You're serious? Absolutely. Cleo and I have solved many challenging cases together when the police were baffled. Without Cleo's skill, it would have been impossible to get the job done. Excuse me, innkeeper. Do you mind telling me exactly what you need a detective for? Didn't you hear the commotion? When the light suddenly went out, somebody was murdered. Murdered? The Cresta di Montagna is my hotel, and I'll assist you in any way I can. What do you want to know first? The case. I'll need to know controls. I don't know much more than you, but I'll fill you in on what I do know. Okay. You already told me yourself. You and Cleo are detectives who were sent here to help the senior Billy Kramer. Now you're here and you have the chance to help him. Are you ready? The small alpine hotel is called the Cresta di Montagna. It was originally a ski lodge, and it's way up high in the mountains, many kilometers away from the nearest town. Billy Kramer Sr. reserved this place to hold his corporate holiday party. This big room is the lounge. The den is to the far left, and up the hall you'll find Mr. Kramer in there. The guest quarters are through the door just up from here. My office is the far right lower door, but I don't want you sleeping around those areas yet. Outside is a huge mountain ridge, expanse full of snow and ice. It's what our hotel is named after. You'd be crazy to go wandering around there without wearing some crampons. Okay. The dead body is Billy Kramer I, the president and CEO of Hitheryon Games. His company precedes the wildly successful Paladin Dream franchise. Mr. Kramer was a very prominent, wealthy businessman. This holiday was supposed to be celebrating the sale of his company to computer conglomerate Comp Inc. for an enormous amount of money, but now he's dead. He contacted us in his hour of need, but we arrived too late. You'll find Billy Kramer's body in the den. It's the room past the fireplace to the far left and up the hall. I'd appreciate it if you go in there and examine the body as soon as possible. We need to find out who killed him. This place is isolated enough that it would take too long to wait for the police to arrive. I've left everything untouched so you and Cleo can search for clues. Okay. Any persons of interest? I sent all the other hotel guests back to their rooms so that you can investigate without any distractions. The senior Billy Kramer invited 6 guests to his big blowout party. You'll find them all waiting in the guest quarters. The 7th person also crashed the party as an uninvited guest. I put them up in the last spare room. Including myself, there are 8 of us here at the Cresta di Montagna Hotel. Okay. Wait, so there's... I guess the first thing to do is to go into the den and look at the bodies, see what you can discover. After that, depending on what you find, I'll let you go interview our other hotel guests. Alright, let's go examine the body. Okay. So, if someone already uninvited came in, then that means that... For that reason, that's probably why they were so hostile. It's at the hallway, right? Excuse me. I didn't check for any... we need to examine the body first anyway, so... Yep, there he is. It's the body of the murder victim, Billy Kramer I. His expensive suit is stained with blood from the dagger wound in his back. This world-famous businessman wrote to Cleo and I in his hour of need. The travel arrangements weren't fast enough, and we arrived too late to protect them. I mean, that's not really on your doing. It's because he set up all the travel arrangements. You literally had no part of it. Judging by his clothes and by the position of the dagger, it looks as though he was stabbed in the middle of a business meeting. If he had his back to the killer, that suggests that the murderer was someone he knew well. His guard was down. But then why would he write to us about death threats coming from someone in his inner circle? Could somebody from the outside have come into this room and murdered the senior Mr. Kramer? Or is the killer someone here in the hotel? Okay. Alright, Chloe, do your job. Sniff them out. On the other side of these windows is a steep mounted cliff. There's no way that somebody could have entered this room from the outside. That means the murderer is someone who's still in this hotel. Each of the 8 inhabitants are suspects. We need to find out who had the motive for killing the senior Billy Kramer, and where each person was during the blackout. Okay. Oh, okay, so both of those clues were pertaining to the windows, or what's technically the nothingness outside the windows. Okay. This is the victim's laptop. It must have shut off during the power outage and the battery is drained. It looks like a brand new Comp Inc. system right out of the box, with excellent hardware specs, complete with these speakers. The electricity for these speakers shut off during the blackout too, so there's no way that ghostly singing in the dark could have come from this computer. Okay. So that's it for here then. So let's have a look. There's a clue here in this. Oh, I need to go on the other side? Okay, fine. The title of this book is Ghost Legends of the Alps. One of the saddest and spookiest alpine legends is the tragic tale of the White Lady. Supposed encounters with the White Lady ghosts date back hundreds of years in the most remote parts of the isolated mountainous region. During the 8th century, there lived a local countrywoman who was married to a brave paladin knight. One day, her husband left to go fight honorably in the Crusades. The bride vowed to wait patiently for his triumphant return. She adorned a hooded white robe and shawl which covered her face, so that no other man would look upon her until that day. She waited patiently, singing beautiful songs about the glory of faith, which echoed into the valley villages below the tall peaks. Days of waitings turned into months, into years, and eventually decades. Finally, one night she encountered a traveling gypsy fortune-teller in the mountains and inquired about what happened to her crusading husband. The fortune-teller's magic revealed that the husband she had remained faithful to for all this time had abandoned her. The knight had married the princess in an exotic faraway kingdom, betraying her faith and leaving her alone in the world. Angered and disgusted, it was said that the poor woman in white offered her soul to the devil that night. Though she disappeared from the sights of the local village marketplaces, the people now heard the chilling melodies of accursed hymns to evil whispering through the rocky mountain walls. To this day, the White Lady remains as a legendary harbinger of death in the Italian Alps. Wayward skiers, explorers, and other unlucky residents have claimed to see a faceless woman in a white robe and shawl, or to hear dark ghostly singing around the time of an unfortunate death in the mountains. Superstitious locals know better than to travel outside during a blizzard at night, when the White Lady is bound to be out seeking new souls to join her in her eternal misery. Okay. It's like if she sold her soul, it's gonna be because of the husband's betrayal. Or like, you know, kill this guy. He betrayed me. Okay, so I think the lower right corner is supposed to be the office, right? Okay, we can talk to... Oh wait. Hold on, let me change the guy. What did you deduce about now that you have some time to start investigating? What did you deduce about the case, now that you've had some time to start investigating? If you're really an ace detective, then you should at least be able to tell me some basic facts about what happened. First, what was the murder weapon? Dagger. Billy Kramer was killed by a stab wound to his back from what looks like a Roman dagger. I think it's hilarious that like the hotel manager is the one doing this for us. A Roman dagger, like the death of an emperor. I see. Cleo and I are determined to get to the bottom of it. We owe that much. One more question, just to make sure there's no way around it. You're absolutely sure that the murderer has to be someone inside the hotel? Could an outside assassin have entered through the windows in the den, for example? Insider. The murderer is an insider. The den windows open over a steep ledge. There's no way somebody could have entered from the outside. The only way into this hotel is through the front door here in the lounge, which means that the murderer is one of the 8 hotel inhabitants. I can't dispute the facts. Your logic is ice cold. Alright, I'll step aside. It seems absolutely necessary for you to interview my hotel guests. Go through this door and you'll find the guest chambers. You can interview me too if you really think I have something to hide. Thanks, we appreciate your cooperation. You do realize that this mountain ridge is haunted though, right? Cleo and I stumbled upon a book about alpine folklore containing that story about the White Lady ghost legend, if that's what you mean. At the risk of sounding superstitious, did you hear any ghostly singing right before the murder happened? I heard something, that's all I can say for sure. Good luck with the investigation, detective guy. Alright, Cleo, now it's time to go interview some suspects. Well, I mean, I feel like we should be talking to her anyway. Are you saying that I'm a suspect too? What connection could I Don't get angry about it. You said that I could talk to you. Whatever. What connection could I possibly have to these American corporate types? Suspect added to case file, Ana Rosa. Christy de Montega Hotel innkeeper. Billy Kramer first and his staff booked this hotel for the week. I was told that they were celebrating some kind of corporate merger. I recognized him and one of the other guests from seeing them here 2 years ago. Otherwise, this place doesn't get many visitors anymore. Not since ghostly doings have been happening around these parts anyway. I certainly wasn't privy to the inner workings of a businessman like Billy Kramer I, but if you want to go find out more, you should go take a look in his bedroom upstairs. Naturally, he booked the Emperor's suite for himself. It's the big room upstairs at the end of the hall on the left. Okay, we already went there, so... Well, you read the book about the White Lady spirit haunting this area. There's been a lot of mysterious circumstances at this hotel surrounding the ghost legend, but this is the first time somebody's ever died because of it. Just be careful, detective, especially with the snowstorm going on. I was at the front desk earlier at the time when the lights went out. I heard that horrible singing. Okay, I'm not sure. Was that nervous laughter? I am suspicious of the one staying in guest room 3, the one they called the creative director, named Gary Small. Gary Smalls again? 2 years ago, Mr. Small was here at the hotel with Billy Kramer I, as well as the original creator of Paladin Dream, Russell Gallant. Now, Kramer and Gallant are both dead. Gary Small kept muttering something about parchment and treasure on the mountain. I had to keep warning him not to venture outside the hotel without crampons. I think he's out of his mind. Okay. Okay. Now we can meet the people in the victim's inner circle. Maybe I can find out who knows about the letter we received. You unlocked a new area. Okay. I'm like trying to get this doggy bag treat. $25? Okay, good to know. First door. Hey. Hey, buddy. If you start snooping through my stuff, it's going to be your lights out next. Suspect act case file. Ty Lipson, the victim's personal bodyguard. Name's Ty Lipson. I serve the senior Billy Kramer as his personal bodyguard. Okay, how do we know how are we adding this information to the case file before he introduced himself? Mr. Kramer hired me after my professional boxing career ended. I've worked for him ever since. I've got to give him credit for taking me in after I got knocked out in the ring for the last time. How many opportunities are there for a guy who's had as many concussions as I have? Of course, he never paid real well. It wasn't all bad flying around with him in the company jet, but it'd be nice to be able to afford a decent car of my own. You gotta hand it to Billy Kramer. He may look like a pork chop, but when it came to the negotiating table, that man was the heavyweight world champion. Okay. You said there's a letter. What letter? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not afraid of you, and I'm not squealing to you about any letter involving my boss. Okay. The suspicious behavior. Yeah, I heard about the ghost legend surrounding this hotel from the innkeeper Anna. I'm a tough guy, but that ghost stuff terrifies me. Clowns, too. Billy Kramer's weird daughter showed up in one of her spooky costumes and knocked the wits out of me. There I was, guarding the door from the lounge to the den like I was supposed to. And suddenly the door quietly opened and I was startled by what I saw. I realized it must have been his daughter, Lana, the costume designer, one of her Halloween costumes she always wears. Her costume looked like the white lady in the ghost legend the innkeeper mentioned. I tried to play it cool and not look scared, but you won't see me messing with ghosts. Besides, I could still hear my boss talking away in the den. After that, I tried to figure out about the ghost and kept watch outside the door while my boss and his meetings with the lawyer ended. I never saw anyone else enter or leave the den after that. Later, after the lights went out, the talking in the room stopped. Nervously, I opened the door to check on the senior Mr. Kramer. He was dead. Okay, so clearly that was the killer. And if the speakers, they were just playing audio of a meeting to this guy. Where was I when the lights went out? I was outside the den guarding the entrance the whole time, just like my boss wanted. Since that former employee showed up and crashed Mr. Kramer's party, he insisted that I didn't let any more unwanted intruders see him. Did you hear that creepy ghost singing that started when the lights went out? I tried to cover my ears and drown out that horrible ghost singing. I don't want that ghost entering my dreams when I'm sleeping. There's no way somebody could have gone past me into the den when the lights were out. I stood guard the whole time. Okay. I think his daughter Lana killed him. She hasn't even left her room since the lights went out. She's the only one around here who dressed up in costume, so it had to have been her. Okay, so he's aware of the fact that... Was the bodyguard guarding? What? Seems like there's something he's hiding. Maybe we can somehow find a way to make him tell us everything he knows. Okay, so there's more with him later. There's a... No! Carol Winters. Okay. Hello, Carol? Are you too young to solve my boss's murder? Activision Games and its employees are depending on you. Suspect Act case file. Carol Winters, the victim's secretary. My name is Carol Winters, and I was assistant to the senior Billy Kramer. As you must know by now, he was one of the most powerful people in the video game industry, if not all of software and entertainment. Billy was known as a man who drove a hard bargain, but he always took good care of his lowly secretary anyway. I'm just concerned about what will happen to Activision Games and our thousands of employees in the face of this bio deal with Comp Inc. Billy was responsible for the well-being of many people. Hopefully his son has inherited his father's capable leadership skills, though honestly I have my doubts. Billy got all kinds of threatening notes. He may not have taken them seriously, but I did. At least one person who said they were going to kill him was serious about it. If you're good as a detective as I've heard, then you'll be able to figure out who murdered him. I don't believe in ghosts or paladins of any of that stuff, but I did hear the singing earlier when the lights went out. There's something strange about the Cresta de Montego Hotel. That's all I can say. Billy had been here before, along with the creative director Gary Small, as well as Russell Gallant, the deceased creative genius. It was 2 years ago. He had me book the arrangements, of course. Billy never talked about wanting to return to this hotel specifically. It was the Comp Inc. attorney, Ned Dillman, who talked him into it. Okay, just suspicious. When the lights went out, I was here in my room relaxing. At my age, I don't have energy that I used to have anymore. This was supposed to be like a vacation. I'd gone downstairs to share a grappa toast with the victim's daughter Lana, and then I came back up here. I was going to write a new diary entry. Okay. Billy had a lot of enemies. Any number of people at Activision Games might have had it in for him, even with the company's stock price as high as it was. But I'm also wondering about Ned Dillman, the lawyer from Comp Inc. What if he thought Activision's stock price was a little too high? Could he have killed him over a negotiating dispute with the buyout? Okay, 3 of 8. So probably gonna assume it's gonna be another thing. It was like everyone's gonna find out everyone has a particular motive. Excuse me, I just need to... I'm gonna be talking a lot, need that drink of water. Okay. Doggy treat. Hello, Gary. We meet once again. He's dead. That's crazy. He's really dead. What's gonna happen to the Paladin Dream Game franchise now? Suspect added to case file, Gary Smalls, creative director at Activision Games. I started at Activision Games as a quality assurance tester and rose to the rank of creative director after the late Lord Russell Gallant passed on. I report directly to Billy Kramer the first. To be honest, I don't think the senior Billy Kramer or his son cared about what I did with the Paladin Dream franchise, as long as it could continue to make money hand over fist. So when I heard that he intended to sell the company to Comp Inc., it put my job in jeopardy. Paladin Dreams is Activision's cash cow. What happens to the fans when Comp Inc. starts messing up the game? They'd be fools to think they can do it without me. Okay. Letter. What exactly did this letter say? Well, my boss did make a lot of people upset, and some of them gave him feedback about it. I don't know anything about what you're talking about, though. I heard the ghostly singing just before the body was discovered. It was spooky, something out of a video game like Paladin Dream. Did you know that 2 years ago I was at the same little hotel with Billy and Lord Russell Gallant, the deceased game creator? Can that be a coincidence? 2 years ago. I just got back from my walk around the mountain ridge. Is my wife out skiing with the trainer? Yeah, they're on the slopes with Mike and Sarah Jones. After this company retreat ends, I'll be putting everyone on mandatory forced overtime to make sure our new game doesn't miss the ship date. What's happened to you, Billy? When you hired me years ago, you were so passionate about making great games. Now it's all about profits. Someone's gotta make sure we don't miss our ship date. You creative types don't know the difference between a balance sheet and a bed sheet. You should take some time off work yourself, too. The first time we went to this resort 10 years ago, I found something when I was exploring the mountain that could make a guy like me rich. You found what, Lord Gallant? That's right. When you're passionate and dedicated, sometimes the inspiration just comes and the wealth finds you. I could use some of that wealth about now. The game tester salary isn't exactly enormous. Follow your dreams. You never know that what treasures you might find. There's treasure hidden here on this mountain for anyone with the bravery to chase after it. You're saying you found treasure here? On this remote to mountain peak? Sure, Gary. Take a leap of faith. Trust me. Alright, that's enough blathering from you two. And I noticed Anna was also part of that conversation, or she was around at the very least. Treasure on the mountain. I still don't know what Lord Gallant meant by that little speech. Okay, your alibi? I was here in this room when it happened. I came on this trip in hopes of making one last plea with my boss not to sell the company. But he and the Comp Inc. lawyer spent hours negotiating every last detail. Fortunately, I never had the courage to barge in there past his bodyguard. They say that to solve a murder mystery, you're supposed to look at who benefits from the death. In this case, the answer to that question is easy. The beneficiary is his son, Billy Kramer II. With his father murdered, now Billy Kramer Jr. is in line to take over the company, and he can do whatever he wants. It's not fair. Whether it's under Comp Inc. or Junior Billy Kramer's poor leadership, he'll probably chase away all the fans, and I'll be out of a job. Okay. The creative director seems on edge. Seems like there's something he's hiding. Maybe we can somehow find a way to make him tell us everything he knows. Okay. Time to go upstairs? Where? Okay, I'm on the... Based on the innkeeper's description, the victim's bedroom must be the big one at the other end of the hall. Emperor's suite, behind that blue rug. Okay. Good to know. That was a very intense strike. We have another clue here in this room. Okay, the chest jars. Chest of jars. There's a pink slip. This memo details Executive Sandra Berg being terminated from Activision by the murder victim. The memo accuses her of sending her boss a death threat as a cause for firing. She's called a danger to the company and buyout bid from Comp Inc. It's signed Billy. You're right, Cleo. The letter received was signed William Kramer I. If the man called himself Billy and signed his official paperwork that way, that could mean that the letter we received really wasn't from him. Somebody else impersonate Billy Kramer I and send us that letter. I would imagine the secretary, if she's the one who takes things seriously. I should never have come here. This was a mistake. A professional like me should have known better. Suspect added to case files, Sandra Berg, Executive Director of Sales with Activision Games, recently terminated. The senior Billy Kramer was my boss at Activision Games. I worked there for 3 years until what happened recently. Mr. Kramer poached me from his largest competitor by making me a deal that was too good to turn down, including a provision for a very large bonus in the event that the company was sold. I was the one who initially introduced Billy Kramer I to Comp Inc. and set up the initial meetings with their acquisition lawyer Ned Dillman. After several rounds of negotiations, Billy Kramer told me he received a promising offer. The next thing I knew, I was fired. The whole thing was ridiculous. I don't care what that greedy bastard or his fool of a son have to say about it. Let's see, I met with Billy a couple of hours before the lights went out. Can't fire me. If it wasn't for me, this big buyout deal wouldn't even be on the table. Well, Sandra, if you have the audacity to send me a death threat, then that's what happens. This is ridiculous. You have no proof that I wrote that note. Why don't you at least let me read it? Look at yourself. You're crazy enough to show up at this private party as an uninvited guest. A private party for a firm that you no longer work at. How did you even find out about this event anyway? Who told you? Never mind. Mark my words, Billy Kramer, I'm gonna get the bonus you promised me, or there's no telling what I'll do to you. Show this unhinged woman out of here. Now, do your job. Alright, you heard Mr. Kramer. Miss Berg, I'm gonna need you to ask you to leave. I knew he was a penny pincher, but I didn't think he'd stoop so low to get out of paying a finder's fee. Coming all the way to Italy to confront my own boss was a horrible idea, no matter how unfair my situation is. Okay. Are you talking about the death threats? Billy Kramer fired me because he said that he received a death threat and blamed me for it. That was a lie. Why would I have wanted to kill my boss? Even if I've sent my boss a death threat, it's not like he took the stuff seriously. Activision customers sent him threatening notes every time we raised our prices, and he didn't bat an eye. I heard that spooky singing when the lights went out, but I don't believe in ghosts. Kramer's bodyguard Ty Lipson is terrified of ghosts, though. And Kramer's daughter Lana worked as a costume designer on some horror flicks. When the lights went out, I was downstairs in the lounge. I was fuming over my lost bonus. I need the money to pay off my mortgage. I saw you and your dog as you both walked in the front door. The senior Mr. Kramer's secretary, Carol Winters, may look like a sweet old lady, but her appearance can be deceiving. Carol knew everything about what went on with the senior Billy Kramer, and she wrote it all down in her diary. Carol Winters was never happy about the buyout and always concerned about how it would affect Activision's thousands of employees. Okay. So I keep yawning. Yikes. Okay, there's the daughter. The victim's daughter. Look at her skin. She's dead. There's been another murder. Oh. Okay, I was about to say, I thought she was just wearing her costume. Then it's like she's dead. She's not dead, she's fine. She's a zombie? How long was I asleep? Who are you? You don't look like you work for Activision. Suspect act the case file Lana Kramer, the victim's daughter. I guess my makeup is pretty convincing. I had you fooled. You're saying that my father's dead? He's been murdered? That's what this is all about? I'm sorry. My tears must be ruining my makeup. Gosh, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to react. He and I weren't exactly close, but I never wished something like this on him. My father spent all his time devoted to running Activision Games and was an absentee for most of my life. Sometimes I wondered if he even knew I was even alive. I was hoping that after he sold his company to Comp Inc. that his attitude would change. That's why I'm here at this party, and why I'm wearing this zombie makeup. I was planning to trick him into thinking I was dead, and hope it might get him to rearrange his priorities a little, before I fell asleep in my hotel room. I'm a professional costume designer after all. My brother Billy Jr. joined Activision, but I don't want any part in my father's ruthless business practices. Okay, so, I mean, because we saw the lawyer outside when we came in. Like, I try to remember what Ty said, the circumstances. Because he hear the negotiation right up until the lights went out, or... Because that's very suspicious if he's supposed to be in there negotiating with Billy Kramer first, and turns out he's somehow in the lobby. Either way, the letter. Yeah, my father got death threats all the time. Lots of nerd rage over high prices and microtransactions mostly. He never took anything like that seriously. He always kept that big, burly bodyguard Ty around so nobody messed with him. My dad had enemies. I'm not gonna lie. It's because of the way he treated people. I'll save you some time and tell you to your face that he and I weren't on the best of terms. I heard the innkeeper Anna talking about this area being haunted. I spent most of my time on movie sets in the city. This is my first time in this high in the mountains. It's interesting because several months ago I received an anonymous commission to make a costume that looked like the ghost of the Alpine legend, the White Lady. Yeah, that was it. I even brought some costumes with me on this trip. There's not much space in these little hotel rooms, so Anna kindly agreed to store them in the hotel basement. If you go down to the storage room, you'll find my costumes there. Okay, interesting. I don't even know my father had died. I was in here, asleep. Okay. Or was I drugged? I wonder. I love my wine as much as the next gal. But even in the past, when I drank that much, I never conked out like this before. Earlier today, I was drinking grappa with my dad's secretary, Carol Winters, to celebrate the buyout deal. If somebody drugged the bottle of grappa, how come I'm the only one who is affected by it? If you can find the bottle of grappa, can you let me know if somebody put something in it? One way or the other, it sounds like I slept through these horrific events. My father surrounded himself with aggressive business types. That was his way. He never worried about what somebody in his circle would be even more unscrupulous than he was. But the way he took advantage of people was totally reprehensible. He called it negotiating, but it really was just finding ways to make people indebted to him so he could control them. Take Ty Lipson, my dad's bodyguard, for example. He knew Ty was desperate after Ty's boxing career ended, and he paid him as little as possible. If a dangerous man like Ty Lipson needed money and resented my father, there's no telling what he might suit to. Okay. Come on. Okay, what's here? Cleo found the clue on the bookshelf. This is the lawyer. It's Activision Games company balance sheet. This document shows details of the company bio. Comp Inc. agreed to buy the company at an all-time high price. When this deal went through, it would have made Billy Kramer one of the richest people alive. Comp Inc. would have even taken out a bank loan to cover the cost. There's a provision for Sandra Berg to be... Interesting. There's a provision for Sandra Berg to get a big cut of the deal. But Activision's other executives and thousands of employees would have been at the mercy of their new owner. The terms of deals are great for Billy Kramer I, good for MS Berg, and very risky for everybody else involved. Could the solution to the senior Billy Kramer's murder be hidden in the fine print somewhere? Okay. Interesting. Keep trying to use WASD for the for the movement, but it's the arrow keys. Now that there's been a suspicious death, I guess we do need a detective here after all. Suspect active case file, Ned Dillman, Esquire. Corporate bio agreement lawyer for Comp Inc. Okay. There's nothing I can tell you about Billy Kramer I, founder and president of Activision Games, that you can't find in the company's stock report. I was proud to sit on the other side of the desk from him working for Comp Inc. We had recently finalized the terms of the deal. Comp Inc. had agreed to buy Activision for billions of dollars, and the senior, Mr. Kramer, was poised to become one of the world's richest men. Billy Kramer's finesse at the negotiating table was second to none. He pushed the envelope whenever he could and drove a hard bargain. But my employer, the world's leading computer conglomerate, has deep financial coffers. I even helped him organize this trip to the Alps as a celebration for him and his accomplishments. I hoped that the mountain air and a stiff drink would ease his ruthless disposition, but found out that the man doesn't ski and he doesn't drink. Okay. Yes, as you mentioned earlier that you received a letter in the mail from the late Mr. Kramer. He denied it. Even after his untimely death, I still maintain my stance that Billy Kramer never would have sent a letter to a detective. This is a man who received mountains of hate mail from angry gamers and just shrugged. I can't say I'm surprised that somebody wants to kill Billy Kramer I, but I'm surprised that he would seriously worry about it. Okay. Were you arguing? Are you arguing that there's a strong case for his death being some kind of supernatural murder? The blackout, the ghostly singing, the legend of the White Lady, apparition curse? This is definitely outside my specialization. Anna the innkeeper certainly seems to take it seriously. When the lights in the hotel went out, I was with you, detective. The only person who was near the den at the time that Billy Kramer Sr.'s bodyguard, Ty Lipson. If Ty wanted to kill his employer, he could have taken him down with a single punch. He wouldn't have needed a Roman dagger to do it. Unless he wanted to be extra devious, I guess. I don't think Ty's got that wits for him. Okay. The innkeeper's Anna Russo seems to be going through a lot of trouble over this supposed ghost legend. I don't know what to think about that. Do you think it's possible that she somehow concocted this supernatural murder to drum up attention for this little hotel? As you can see, it's not exactly a popular destination right now. I keep an eye on that innkeeper, if I was in your position, detectives. I know why I said detectives, plural. Okay. I need you out of the way, sir. Hello, sir. We meet again. Oh, get that. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I was so excited to greet you. You again, detective. I'm sick of my time being wasted like this. Suspect added to case file, Billy Kramer II, Vice President of Activision Games. My father was a founder and president of world-famous Activision Games. Now that he's gone, the company passes on to me. What am I going to do without Daddy? How am I supposed to run the company on my own? I should have spent more time paying attention in those meetings and less time watching 1980s police dog cartoons. Okay. You're asking whether my father received any strange letters? Of course he did. All kinds of angry gamers wrote complaints all the time. What would you expect? He never took anything that came in the email seriously, of course. It was all just business to him. And he certainly wouldn't have called on some 2-bit detective with a dog and flown them out to our private blow-up party here in the Alps. Okay. My father booked this hotel 2 years ago, too. He didn't say anything about it being haunted back then. Between you and I, Daddy's big burly bodyguard Ty Lipson is absolutely terrified of ghosts. Clowns, too. Back to the office, I used to play spooky pranks on him when I was supposed to be working. Okay. Where was I when the lights went out? Are you kidding me? I was standing there right in front of you in the lounge entrance. What kind of detective are you? How long until the storm stops and the real police show up? Sandra Berg, the former Activision executive, wanted my father dead. She even said so herself. My father recently terminated her, and for good reason. I can't believe she had the audacity to show up here and protest. How Sandra even found out about this place is a mystery to me. But my father and Ty promptly threw her out. You said that Sandra Berg came here to protest being fired. Why would she do that? What do you mean, why would she? Our company policy is none of your business. I don't have to answer to you. You're not even a cop. Such a nosy amateur detective. Okay. Why isn't the victim's son telling me the whole truth? Who is he protecting? It seems there's something he's hiding. Maybe we can somehow find a way to make us tell him everything he knows. Okay, those are all the suspects. This is the door to the guest room where the victims was staying. The Emperor's Suite. It's locked. That's odd. I wonder if the innkeeper has the master key. Okay. So the question for me is, like, who do I talk to now? Right now, it's hard to build up a case against any one suspect based on where they were when the lights went out. According to the suspect testimonies, the victim was alone in the den with his bodyguard just outside the room. Okay, so no, it said he was alone. Everyone else was either in here in the lounge or alone in their bedroom. Seems impossible that anyone could sneak past Ty Lipson into the den to kill Billy Kramer I when the lights went out, unless Ty himself is the murderer, of course. Oh, I'm with the dog right now. Why do you need the master key? I don't want you going into my office or the basement. Those aren't areas meant for guests. I need a key so I can enter the murder victim's bedroom. Very well, just be careful around here in this old hotel. Hey, what happened to the key? It's gone! Oh, that's right. The attorney, Ned Dillman, asked me if he could borrow it earlier, so I gave it to him. You should ask him what he did with the master key. That same key also unlocks my office, which leads to the hotel basement. Okay. Sorry, this is, Wait, there's, They're seriously not... See this? Okay. Okay. Either way, we need to talk to Ned Dillman. Sorry, I just want to see... Oh no, damn it. I mean, I guess we'll just go to where the clues take us, because... Unless we know where to go... Wrong place. You're looking for the hotel key? I borrowed it from the innkeeper earlier. I was planning to lock up the den with the dead body in it until you were ready to investigate. The innkeeper said I could have it to look for clues. I don't see a search warrant or even official police badge. Let's remind you that any business document and technical equipment found in this hotel are property of Activision Games and Comp Inc. Don't even think about laying one finger on my briefcase without procuring the proper paperwork. All I want is to figure out who murdered Billy Kramer first. I have no personal interest in the affairs other than bringing the killer to justice. Very well, the master key is yours. Wait, it's not in my pocket. Someone took it from me. What the hell? What? The senior Billy Kramer's secretary, Carol Winters, came to me and started talking. I got distracted. Yes, I think precisely that Carol Winters took the hotel key. If you want to find it, you should ask her about it next. Why a mere secretary would take an interest in such an important affairs is beyond me, though. Okay, I was not expecting... What is this key telephone thing? I can't remember who's where. It's Gary Smalls. Okay. You're looking for the hotel key? Alright, it's true. I swiped it from Ned Dillman when he wasn't looking. I used it to lock Billy's hotel room after his death. I suppose a private dick like you wouldn't understand why someone like me would do that. Alright. I took the hotel master key to protect Billy and protect the company after his death. Activision Games is filled with company secrets, some of which Billy kept with him in his hotel bedroom. The company's secrets need to stay private no matter what. Who knows what would happen if this classified information got out into the press? It would be chaotic. It could even affect the company employees or selling the company. Okay, we finally got the thing. Now that Billy's dead, we need you to investigate what happened. Here, take the hotel key and lock the door to the Emperor's suite upstairs. No matter what, just find out who murdered my boss. You're right, Cleo. Let's open the door to the victim's room and search for clues. Okay. Let's see what secrets are hiding in the Emperor's suite. Unlock the new area. Boy, is it dark. Clue hidden on a shelf. This is a death threat sent to the murder victim. It's a warning to Billy Kramer. Billy Kramer the first, that if he sells out Activision to Comp Inc., then his life will be in danger. No matter how ruthless and aggressive you are at business, there's always going to be someone even more ruthless and aggressive than you. The writing is very explicit and contains detailed knowledge of the Activision inner workings. Who wrote this? Okay. Okay, one more clue in here. This folder is full of photographs of Billy Kramer the First taken from his office. What's he doing? It looks like he's at his desk looking at a balance sheet and some kind of threatening note. He's writing somebody a notice of termination, a pink slip. We already found the balance sheet. This looks like the threatening note we found. We recovered the pink slip. This must be the memo that Billy Kramer and I want to say keeps staying first as I. Billy Kramer the first wrote to fire Sandra Berg. So this proves that he fired Sandra Berg after looking at the balance sheet. And later he used a death threat as an excuse. Who took the picture and what were they looking to get out of it? Clues saved to your case files. Okay. Okay, so... Excuse me. Okay, so question for me. Who's in what room again? Ty Lipson. And this... Oh shoot, no! Okay. You need to do that. Okay, that's just for some reason it wants us to revisit that. And the only thing place I could think of would be to go to her office. Okay. These Cramptons will allow us to explore the snowy, icy mountain ridge outside. Now we can explore the area around the hotel. Okay, so we need to go here anyway. Okay, clue in the bookshelf. It's the hotel logbook. This shows all the guests who have stayed in the Cresti de Montega Hotel. Now that's interesting. This place used to be a thriving tourist destination, but since 2 years ago, the attendance has been very sparse. Some of the few guests staying here have even left the hotel early, before their booked vacation times were finished. I wonder why. This hotel used to have a lovely bar and restaurant down here. Damn, it is very empty. Grappa de Opera. This must be the special bottle of grappa that the victim's daughter, Lana Kramer, was drinking from earlier before the murder happened. She said that she drank a lot and then she fell asleep. She thought it might be drugged. What do you think, Cleo? You're saying it's clean? Alright, Cleo. If you say the bottle is clean, then it's clean. That's interesting. Okay. Oh, I didn't even see. I was looking. I was too busy looking at the bar to see the treat. Okay, there's an exit there. Okay, that's where we came in from. Another doggy treat. Okay, this is the kitchen area. Okay, clue in the microwave. What do we got here? This is a police dog comic book. Who reads this? The victim said he liked that show. The victim's son said he liked that show, but I'm surprised he takes something like this with him on an important trip. Okay. This apparatus is where the electrical fuses from the hotel are stored. I wonder what that computer is for. Everything seems to be running okay now. Oh, I can't go. Okay, I can't go that way. Okay, what is that on the... This must be Lana Kramer's box full of the costumes she's working on. Good idea, Chloe. I wonder if I could use these costumes as disguises to get more information out of some of these uncooperative suspects. The bodyguard, the creative director, and the victim's son were especially dodgy. Maybe this will help with those three suspects in particular. Okay, so... Ghost clown? Disguise command added to main menu. Okay. I was not expecting this. Let's see if I can use these costume disguises to get more information out of these strange suspects. You're right, Cleo. I've got to be careful not to look like a complete fool. Okay, so let's just see. Disguises. Okay, I want to go outside first. There's so much snow that it's hard to see. We've got to be careful about getting turned around while exploring the mountain ridge. What the hell is that? Why they go... This notebook belongs to someone working at the Hitheryon Games. Dated 2 months ago. At the suggestion of the Comp Inc. lawyer, Ned Dillman, we book the same Italian Alpine hotel for the company holiday party. Maybe it's meant to be a symbolic of all the success Activision has had since then. I didn't see Senator Berg's name on the guest list for the Activision company holiday party though. I wonder why she isn't being included. It must be an oversight. I told Sandra about the party and gave her an invitation myself. After all, it's because of the deal she brokered that this whole thing is happening. Did it last month. My boss, Billy Kramer I, is so accustomed to reading angry letters from gamers that he doesn't know a serious threat when he sees one. Recently, he received a threatening note which warned that if he followed through and sold the company to Comp Inc., he should fear for his life. So I'm looking for a way to protect Mr. Kramer. He'd be upset if I got the police involved, so I searched through his contacts for someone that might be able to help. I found the detective team who solved Lord Russell Gallant's murder in Vermont. Mr. Guy and Cleo. Maybe they could help us again by protecting the senior Mr. Kramer now. I even embezzled some money from my boss to pay for their flights to the company party in the Alps. It was the only way to reach the detectives in time. At least I hope it will be fast enough. Every day, the danger increases. Okay, so as I thought, it was the secretary. Who wrote this? Whoever it was is responsible for impersonating Billy Kramer the First and writing to us, Cleo. Oh, okay. I mean, so we have an idea what it is, but apparently he doesn't. Mainly just sticking to the edge here. The hell? Huh. Oh, what? I was not expecting to make all the way back to the lounge again. Okay, crazy. Let's go the bottom route then. Found a clue buried in the snow. It's a receipt for an expensive dinner for two at the steakhouse in Torino. What's it doing way out here in the snow? It's lucky that Cleo managed to find it at all. The bill was paid by Comp Inc. attorney Ned Dillman, who was his dinner guest. It's like, what's the cat doing out here? So I'm assuming this will just... Oh. Yeah, and then we'll make our way back to the inn eventually. Okay. Alright, so now we need to talk to... Oh no, sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry for making you talk to a dog. You're so upset about it. No! God damn it. Ignore me, madame. Okay. So, let's put on the... Oh my gosh. It's a ghost clown. Hey, this is working. This tough guy really is afraid of me when I'm wearing this disguise. Please don't haunt my dreams. No! That all depends on whether you tell me what I want to know. You're a ghost. That means you can read my mind, right? Yes, that's right. I know all. And if you dare to try and lie to me, then you'll be sorry. So you know about the time I spilled my energy drink on Gary Small's computer by accident? Absolutely. Then you also know about the time I punched a dent in Billy Kramer Jr.'s new Beamer. That's right. I know everything bad you did, even if nobody saw it. Then you certainly know about... Oh no, you know about that too. Tell me what you did, or I will terrorize your sleep forever. It'll be just like that time when you got knocked out. Alright, I was gonna blackmail my boss. Several weeks ago. You know, son, I've been racking my brain trying to find a way not to pay Sandra Berg that hefty bonus she's supposed to get when we sell the company. But today I got a death threat, and I figured it out. I guess it's a good thing so many people out there hate me sometimes. Huh? Billy, are you paying attention? You need to stop watching children's cartoons when you're supposed to be working. What is it, Dad? Sometimes I honestly don't know whether or not you've got what it takes to run a huge company. Alright, I'm listening now. Good. I want you to sneak this death threat into Sandra Berg's desk papers after she left the office. Then tomorrow we'll both go into her office and act like we just discovered it in her personal belongings. Why do you want to pin this death threat on Sandra Berg? If you can frame her for writing this death threat, then I have a justification to fire her. Bye-bye to her huge bonus. Aren't you at least a little worried that somebody who works for you wants to kill you? Maybe I should call a detective. No, that's not necessary. That's what I have that brainless brute guarding the door outside my office for. Where is he right now? Anyway, I'm only worried about all the money I'd lose if I were forced to pay Sandra Berg's sales commission. Problem solved. You're a genius, Dad. Try and learn something, son. Alright, son? This must have been the folder with photographs I found in the victim's bedroom. I found out that Mr. Kramer was planning to fire Sandra Berg so that she wouldn't get her bonus. Then he could keep the money for himself. Somebody sent him a death threat and he blamed on her without any evidence. I found out about it. I was going to threaten to tell Sandra. Paying me off would have been cheaper for him than risking a lawsuit once she found out. I was waiting for my chance to talk about it with Mr. Kramer, but then somebody really did kill him. And what happened to your photographs, the ones you were planning to use to blackmail the victim? You must have discovered where I hid them. I knew I was going to be in trouble. I wanted more money, but that doesn't make me a killer. Say, do you remember that detective who was here earlier? Yeah, what about him? Where's he gone to anyway? If he thinks I killed my boss, I'm gonna slug him in the face. Sorry I asked. So that's not the best... That's not really gonna help your case, sir. Okay. So we know the police dog is for the son. I would assume the paladin's for Gary Small? Sorry, you down here, sir? Paladin, am I dreaming? Can this be a mystical sign from Lord Russell Gallant, the original game creator who is deceased? What does Lord Gallant want from me? Hey, this is working. It's actually taking my paladin disguise seriously. Now we can discover who he's been hiding. As the creator-director for Paladin Dream, I've done everything I can to help build on what Lord Russell Gallant started. 2 years ago, I was here at the same mountain hotel with him and Billy Kramer. Billy Kramer the First. Can that be a coincidence? He and I had this strange conversation where he claimed there were treasure hidden in the mountain. It didn't quite make sense to me. Lord Gallant loved riddles. He was a game designer after all. I'm just not that great at solving riddles. Are you? Of course, Billy was all business as always, and he wouldn't have any of it. But I wondered if there really is something to what Lord Gallant said. All I hope that I've at least made Lord Gallant proud of my dedication to Paladin Dream. Forgive me, Lord Gallant. I was the one who wrote the death threat to Billy Kramer the First. Could this be the death threat referenced in the letter we received from the murder victim? The one summoning us here? It must mean the threatening note we found in the victim's bedroom. It was all my fault. If I hadn't been foolish enough to write that death threat for my boss, maybe none of this would have happened. So that was you. Why did you do it? When Activision Games was to be sold to Comp Inc., my job suddenly became in jeopardy. I worked my way up from being only a humble game tester to creative director for the Paladin Dream game franchise. It's not fair. Everyone knows Comp Inc. bought the company because that game franchise is so lucrative. That's the whole reason this big buyout deal happened. Sure, it's great for business, but what happens to the game when the new owners let me go? Paladin Dream needs me. I'm the one who knew Lord Russell Gallant the best, and I'm the only one capable of thinking like him and making the right decisions. That's why I sent my boss that death threat. I wanted to make it seem like selling the company would put his life in danger, in addition to just my job being in danger. I guess someone really did plan to kill Billy Kramer the First all along. If Detective Guy knew I sent my boss a death threat, then he'd suspect me as a murderer, so I'm not inclined to help him. If you're really a legendary paladin from Lord Gallant's game, then maybe you should have this. It hasn't done me any good. This parchment contains a riddle that Lord Russell Gallant gave to me. Take this parchment containing the riddle, maybe it will be of more use to you than it's been to me. Let's read the first line of the riddle. Stand where light and heat once burned next to frozen feet. Stand where light and heat once burned next to frozen feet. Okay. Where Gallant's riddle obtained... Okay. Just don't show this riddle to that nosy detective. Okay. So, I think what I'm going to do... We're going to do the riddles first. Just all in one shot. I was imagining a fireplace. I mean, there's like the fire... Okay, so they meant this fire. Okay. This fireplace out in the snow seems to be the spot mentioned in Lord Gallant's riddle. But what happens next? Step 2. Chase after your spirit guide to the leap of faith down the mountainside. Chase after your spirit guide to the leap of faith down the mountainside. What's that supposed to mean, Cleo? Cat. Chase after your spirit guide. The Alpine Lynx, that's it? Cleo, you're a dog. Go after that cat. Look, Cleo, there's a lynx near the mountain ledge. What's it doing? That must be the leap of faith. Yikes. Let's see what happens. Are we going? There we go. Phew, that was close. The soft, deep cushion of snow here broke our fall. Look! The mouth of this secret cave is hidden by the walls of the mountain. You unlocked a new area. Check the map. Let's see what Lord Gallant's riddle says next. Behind the statue in this cave lies a secret to save. Behind the statue in this cave, there's a doggy treat. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. It's the deceased game designer, Lord Russell Gallant's journal, dated 2 years ago. To my dear friend Gary Small, if you're reading this, then it means you solved my riddle. Congratulations. When I was exploring the mountain ridge, I fell and happened on the entrance to this cave. It looks like an old Christian hermitage from medieval times. The incredible dream I experienced in this cave became the basis for my game Paladin Dream, which went on to make me very wealthy. So you see, the true meaning of my riddle is that imagination is priceless. May chasing your dream and lead you to fortune like it did for me. But if that's a little too hokey, then there's also something for you in that treasure chest. I've left it for you, Jerry. I know you'll take better care of it than anyone. Huh. This isn't going to help us solve the mystery. The blade's not even sharp. It might make a good souvenir, though. You're supposed to give it to Gary. Hey, excuse me. Don't just take it from him. Oh, dog treat. I'm missing one more. There's one more. Okay. Oh, wait. How come this wasn't... I feel sleepy all of a sudden. No. What's happening? Why am I dressed like a paladin? What? What? You don't know anything about this? Like, you don't even get a health bar for what you're doing here. Yuck, why do I have to eat dog food? Okay. Cleo, you need to heal up. Okay, I'm not sure what happened there. Scare the enemy with a loud animal noise for 1 to 3 turns. I'm gonna have him heal. Oh, what? Oh, what? Okay, so they can't heal the other person. Cleo's barking scares the enemy. Okay, so I didn't know. Okay, so they can only heal themselves. I'm sorry, Cleo missed on her healing? How? That does not make sense. I'll take the chance. Oh. Okay, thank God. There we go. The chance worked out. Nice job, Cleo. We did it. Huh. It was just a dream. A paladin dream. Okay. Oh. Anna Russo is... found a clue. Some climbing rope. This will be useful when we need to get back out of this cave and go back to the hotel. Okay. I'm curious of why she's there. Okay, sorry. I'm like literally looking to see if somehow I missed the doggy treat, but... I probably know it is on the outside area. Hello, ma'am. What are you doing here, innkeeper? I gotta give you credit, detective. You found this cave even though I was unable to find anything after searching for 2 years. I was also here on the day Lord Russell Gallant mentioned that he found a treasure somewhere on the mountain ridge. I'm a little embarrassed about how you shown me up like this. However, the treasure's mine. You can't take it. What? What's gotten into you, innkeeper? You're right, detective. I need to come to my senses. Okay, alright. I saw you jump down the ledge and I followed you into this cave. Can it really be possible that there's treasure hidden in here? I see. So no gold, diamonds, or anything like that? Should have known better than to listen to that kooky game designer. I can't believe I wasted 2 years looking for nothing. And to think, I even went through the trouble of scaring all the hotel guests away. What? You scared the hotel guests away? That's right, I was the one who spread the story about the hotel being haunted. The guests all left, then I had plenty of time to hunt for the treasure. I overheard Russell Gallant telling Gary Small about 2 years ago. I was the one who caused the power to go out. I rigged up the generator settings to shut off every day at the same time. I'm also responsible for the ghostly singing you heard. I used to sing opera before I became an innkeeper. What about the murder of Billy Kramer I? No, I didn't kill him. I only wanted to scare my guests, not murder them. Was it you who dressed up as the White Lady, the one who was seen by the victim's bodyguard leaving the den earlier? Come on, detective. You searched my entire hotel, including my office. Did you find a costume like that in my possession? Who else knew that the blackout was rigged? The only other person I told was the snowmobile driver. I asked him to tell his passengers about the White Lady every time he brought someone to the hotel. Snowmobile driver? The same one that drove Cleo and I to the hotel? Yes, he was the one who helped me set up the electrical generator with the mechanical switch timer to create a power outage on cue, so he had to know about it. You went through a lot of trouble scaring guests away so that you had time to look for the treasure Russell Gallant described in the conversation you overheard 2 years ago, but you were unsuccessful. You know, sometimes, like, you can stop saying that you overheard this conversation 2 years ago. It's not that important. I don't think so, maybe. It sounds like I wasted my time, and from what you say, you've wasted your time here too. Actually, for Cleo and I, it has been surprisingly productive. But if the treasure in this cave has no value, then I'm going back to the hotel. From now on, instead of scaring my guests away, I'm going to make the Cresta de Montagna into the best hotel in the Italian Alps. I'll start by refurbishing the basement and take care of the gas leak in guests 1, 3, and 7. What? There's a gas leak? Then I'll become wealthy like I wanted, and I don't need some mythical treasure or ridiculous ghost story to do it. I'll see you back at the hotel. You've got a murder to solve, both of you. How have you not accidentally killed someone? So if the blackout was planned, that means someone could have known about it and used it as a diversion. That means when the lights went out, the senior Billy Kramer could have already been dead. We need to find out where all the suspects were before the lights went out. Maybe somebody will slip up. Time to go back and ask more questions. Oh, shoot. Okay. Should find out where each suspect was before the lights went out. Okay, I need to actually ask Junior about the oh my god! This is not suspicious at all. Okay. I think he was in this room. Hey, buddy. Wolf. That is haunting. I'm sorry. That's not... Hey, police dog. You're back. Are you close to solving this mystery? Wolf. Alright, I'm going to tell you something I didn't tell the detective. Want to know what I was really doing earlier? It should be good. I was watching cartoons. That's pretty much all I do when I'm at the office, but I look busy. After what's happened, I might have to actually do some real work soon. Pretty sure my father knew about it, but kept quiet. Now that he's dead, I gotta figure out how to run the business myself. All I want is for his murderer to be brought to justice, the way it always happens on your TV show. Can you do that for me, police dog? That was okay. How, okay, that's so scary. That's not great. You're asking where I was before the lights went out? You must know I was working on an extremely important business task. It's top secret. I don't have to answer to any annoying nuisances of an amateur detective like you. Where were others? I can't speak for anybody else. I was too busy. Stop pestering me. I didn't want to run the business. I wanted my father alive. How dare you accuse me of murdering my father? Don't you realize how bad shape the company is now without him? Oh, okay, that sentence was really awkward, but okay. So what, 1, 3, and 7 are the rooms with the gas leak, huh? Any new information, detective? Huh. You're asking for my whereabouts before the lights went out. I was in the den with Mr. Kramer working on the legal paperwork to complete the sale of Hacktivision to my employer, Comp Inc. When you and your dog first arrived at the hotel, Mr. Kramer asked me to greet you. Before that, I was in the den the whole time working with Mr. Kramer, who is still very much alive. Well, I assume Mr. Kramer's bodyguard, Ty Lipson, was outside the den guarding the door. That was his job, after all. Except for the moment he let that disgruntled former employee barge through and complain to her former boss. Ms. Berg, that was it. She was the one who connected with Comp Inc. when we were looking to buy the game publisher. I assure you I wanted Comp Inc. to buy Activision Games as much as anyone. If we are going to make a fortune off the Paladin Dream games. Of course, now it seems the whole business deal is going to have to be negotiated again from scratch with Mr. Kramer's son, Billy Kramer Jr. at the helm. What a mess that's going to be. So much redundant work to do. Is there a way... You know, lots of people want my father dead. Before the lights went out, I was drinking downstairs with my dad's secretary, Carol Winters. So then I'm gonna tell Dad, I just want to lie down. Oh dear sweetie, how much have you had to drink? I want to put on my zombie makeup and make him think I'm really dead. And I'll show him. Then he'll know how it feels to have a daughter he completely ignores because of his job. You know, sometimes I really wish he was dead. We really need to get you to your room before you do something stupid. Innkeeper, can you please take this bottle someplace where she can't get it? Of course, I'll take it down to the basement in storage, along with her box of costumes. Thank you. I'd better escort this one back to her bedroom now. You're saying that the grappa bottle was clean? Nobody drugged it? Drugged I? Then I wonder what could have happened. I didn't see anyone else. I was in here asleep. The last thing I remember is Carol Winters helping me into bed. I slept through everything that happened until you and your dog came into my room. Get real, detective. I wouldn't kill my own father. No matter how much he disagreed with my life choices, he's still my dad. All I wanted was to scare him a little bit. Make him think, you know? Okay. You know, it looks bad for me, but I didn't do it. Well, you already know about my altercations from my former boss earlier in the den. After that, I just cooled off in the lounge as I waited for the snowmobile to arrive. The innkeeper saw me. You did too, detective, if you remember. Billy Kramer Sr. was in the den along with the lawyer from Comp Inc. His bodyguard was outside the door. I saw the innkeeper in the lounge afterwards. I didn't see much of the Kramer kids before the uproar when you arrived, though. Lana was probably drinking and working on her art. Billy Jr. was probably watching cartoons and trying to look like he's working. Those were the usual habits. I may have said that I wanted to kill him because I was angry. What he did was unfair. I was going to file a lawsuit for wrongful termination after I came to my senses. Okay. Trying to think. Oh, okay. 1, 3, assuming that's like odds and evens. 1, 3. 7 would be... So would that mean 7 is the lawyers? I don't know. There's no distinction. Oh wait, there is. 1, 2. It's by the... I can't... Oh, well, I can't read it. I can't read these ones. Assuming this is 5, then this one here might be 7. How long are you going to keep us all in the dark? Before the lights went out, I was here in my room. I'm not a very social person. I prefer video games. Before the lights went out, I was here in my... Oh, sorry. I don't know. I didn't see anybody. No, I was here. That's right. I was alone. I never threatened to kill my boss. I promise. Okay, okay, wait. 1, 2. So 3. Okay, so Gary Small is the room that has the leak. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7 is Billy Kramer's room. Okay, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if it matters. Do you have any idea who could have killed my boss? You're asking where I was before the lights went out? I was in the lounge trying to advise Billy's daughter not to drink too much. At least I convinced her to go lie down. If she had ran her mouth to her father in front of the Comp Inc. lawyer, it could have derailed everything. Let's see. After I walked Lana into her room, I didn't see Billy Jr., Gary Small, or the innkeeper anywhere. I assumed Billy Sr. was still in the den. I was hoping he'd have a change of heart and listen to Sandra Berg, maybe even rehire her. Of course, I didn't kill my boss. It's horrible for the company. What's happened, don't you see? If you hadn't figured it out by now, I'm the one who impersonated Billy Kramer Sr. and sent you and Cleo that letter in the mail. I did it to protect not just him, but the huge payroll of employees that depend on him. I only hope that it wasn't all in vain, that you and Cleo can bring his killer to justice now. Okay. Okay, I hope you know what you're doing, because you're getting on my nerves. Before the lights went out, I was guarding the door to the den. Mr. Kramer had his meeting to attend, and it's my responsibility to keep him undisturbed. I had no idea about what had happened between him and Sandra Berg. Nobody told me she had been fired. Now, how was I to know she'd come here to have it out with him? I'm certain that I know what I saw, Detective, no matter how many times I've banked up. Sometimes after Mr. Kramer's argument with Sandra Berg, his daughter Lana came into the den. No, I never actually saw her enter the room, but she's the only one artsy enough to walk around the office wearing those spooky costumes. Later, I could still hear my boss talking with the lawyer, Ned Dillman, right until the lights went out. I had no idea something was amiss. It sounded like a normal meeting to me, just like any other time I kept watch outside the door to my boss's office. Okay, well, see, now that just definitely makes it sound like the lawyer, because this guy was saying he was inside the entire time. But the lawyer went out to meet us in the lobby. No way, I'm a prize fighter, not a murderer. There are rules in the ring after all. I heard his voice in the room right up until the moment the power went out. Right until that spooky singing. Whoever crept past me to kill him must have been the world's top stealth assassin. Okay, so now we need to go to the innkeeper. Go ahead, keep doing your job. Before the lights went out, I was downstairs in the basement checking on the power generator. I wanted to make sure that the power would go off as scheduled. I saw the group drinking grappa in the lounge earlier. Lana Kramer had a lot to drink. I stayed out of the den, of course. I didn't want to interrupt Billy Kramer, the first, and his important meeting. Knock it off, Detective. I may have had my reason for wanting to scare people away from this hotel, but I certainly didn't need to kill anybody to do it. Okay. Can I, like, go back downstairs to the boiler room? Can't remember... sorry, case file. Oh, okay, electric controller, so it is on there. Assuming that electric controller is the... Okay... Really just trying to see if maybe there's something else. So what do I do now, right? Okay. Yeah, nothing else here. Okay, so... did that, sorry, it's like, did that do something, or just, is that just a random flash? I think that was just a random flash of light. Just want to see if there's like anything in the middle that I can somehow have missed. We did all the riddle stuff, so I mean that should be done and over with. Okay. How do I proceed? Oh, the lights went out again. You're right, Cleo. I don't hear any ghostly singing this time either. We gotta hurry down to the generator room and get the power back on. Okay. Hey, stop! You're not gonna let me follow? Whoever that was, they got away so fast. Am I still worried about the generator? That sounded like a window shattering upstairs. Okay. Like, literally, I thought you wanted me the generator. You gotta hurry down. Okay, well, so like, okay, it told me. So I was going to the generator, and then suddenly they're like, there's noise from upstairs. I'm like, okay, so I'm actually supposed to go upstairs? No, I'm supposed to stick with the generator thing. I'm very annoyed by this. Sorry, it's upstairs. Not upstairs, up here. Okay, oh, I have to be the dog. It looks like somebody came down here and turned the power off manually. Phew, at least the lights are on again. Let's go back upstairs and investigate the sound of the glass shattering. The sound of glass shattering came from inside the den. It's my favorite cartoon police dog. Isn't around, I guess you're the best we've got. It wasn't me who turned off the lights this time. I'm just as surprised as you are. Okay, well, we're just gonna go to the den. I don't know if we need to be questioning everybody. Found a clue. Speakers that were plugged into this computer when I searched this room earlier are gone. Okay, so someone... You threw away the speaker... You didn't even... Okay. This window has been shattered. That must have been the noise we heard from downstairs. The hole in this window looks like about the same size as those laptop speakers that were on the table earlier. Could someone have thrown them out the window while the lights were out for the second time? Okay, they threw the speakers out. It's like one in a very noticeable way as well. So I don't know what they're trying to hide. I think I solved this mystery. There's a lot of complications, but I think I know who killed Billy Kramer the first and why they did and how. It was done. No. Sounds like glass shattering. Okay. I mean, there is nothing else to do, but... I mean, obviously the suspicions is going to be with Ned Dillman. But then... Here's the only thing I don't know about. Maybe it wasn't one of the clues, but... So yeah, if I click... I wish it's like... Cramptons... Why is the Cramptons a clue? I mean, okay, so we know it's not in terms of the suspects, right? I think he's for sure out, right? The daughters also Anna. Sandra Berg, like honestly, he's the most likely suspect. The question is, was he working with someone? It's like, here's the thing, like, but then how does he know about the whole? How does he know about the timer thing? Can't be... Don't imagine it's Billy Kramer. I don't imagine... I mean, like... Yeah, I mean, the only person I could think of would be the... Okay. You'll allow us to save, right? There's just one more thing we need to do with that electrical apparatus first. Then I'll assemble all the suspects in the den, where the murder happened. Okay. Okay. In this part of the story, Detective Guy will explain the solution to the mystery. A correct answer will earn a point. Accumulating enough points will result in convincing the others of the solution. A low score, less than half correct, will not be convincing. Okay, interesting. I don't think, because I'm not sure there was ever explanation of how that worked in the previous game, but maybe, I don't know, maybe you couldn't fail, I don't know. Can you really trust this amateur detective's judgment on the matter as important as my father's murder? We have no choice. When the public finds out what happens, it will ripple throughout the entire company. The acquisition deal I spent all this time negotiating could be completely thrown out. We might have to start again from scratch. I want to get out of here as soon as possible. I never should have come to this place. I'm just wondering if Sandra is in any way involved. Only because, like, there's a very specific part in the original deal where she gets paid. So, I'm not sure. Even if you try to leave, you're going to have to get past me. None of us are going anywhere until we know who did it. Like it or not, we're all stuck here until the mystery's solved. We're all in agreement then. Go ahead, detective. Tell us what happened. Good. One of you is the killer and I know who. This mystery began long before any of us arrived at the Christie de Montaga Hotel for the Hack Division Games holiday party. Before we arrived here, Cleo and I were sent something astonishing in the mail, which served as introduction of the events to come. This is the item we received. Victim's letter? Balance sheet. The victim's letter. At first, Cleo and I were skeptical that it was genuine. As it turned out, our instincts... Oh, sorry. the steakhouse receipt because the transport guy on the snowmobile says something about the dinner stuff. Oh god, totally forgot about that. At first, Cleo and I were skeptical that it was genuine. As it turned out, our instincts were right. Then our airline tickets arrived. I still say it's ridiculous. My father would never write to you. But you really got a death threat, and somebody really did kill Billy Kramer the First. What do you mean your instincts were right? We'll come back to that later. As it turned out, the murder happened shortly after we arrived. Cleo and I stood in the doorway to the lounge arguing with Billy Kramer Jr. and Ned Dillman. The innkeeper was quietly behind her desk, and Sandra Burke was angrily pacing near the fireplace. That was when it happened. Okay. Right now, my top two suspects are Sandra Burke and Ned Dillman. The main, obviously Ned, just because I don't know if Ty said anything about Ned exiting the room, so. What happened, detective? Another blackout? Oh no! Oh my god, the ghost is back, not again. Everyone be careful. What's going on? This happened. The lights in the hotel went out. A power outage. Hey wait, how did you know that would happen? It's like you planned it. Yes, exactly. Along with the lights out, we all heard a spooky singing voice coming from somewhere nearby. But it was impossible to determine the source. What was it? Somebody wanted us all to believe that it was because of a supernatural curse. When I first explored the hotel lobby, I found this item which provided a detailed account of the spooky alpine ghost legend folklore book. Just make sure to read all the other ones. The folklore book. The book we found contained a sad and haunting story about the alpine ghost legend of the White Lady. The tale described the apparition of a harbinger of death, witnessed in a blizzard and accompanied by ghostly singing. Yeah, and look what happened. Yes, it's true. There was a blizzard. We heard ghostly singing. And then Billy Kramer the First was found stabbed to death. You're gonna tell us that Billy Kramer the First, the president of Activision Games, was killed by ghosts? Come on. I'm merely acknowledging that all three events happened at the same time. What about causation? Obviously, the circumstances surrounding Mr. Kramer's death were very suspicious, especially after I spoke with everyone who was in the hotel at the time. I discovered each of you had a motive for wanting him dead. Are you absolutely sure that it had to be one of us? It's the only possible explanation. The front door to the lounge is the only way out of the hotel, and the den window opens on top of a steep cliff. It would have been impossible for some unknown assassin to pass through the den without being seen, and anyone attempting to escape through the den window would plunge to their death. What motive could I have possibly had to kill the senior Billy Kramer? My employer was about to buy his company. You certainly had your own suspicious private agenda. How do you mean? Besides the victim, you were the one who had intimate knowledge of the acquisition of Activision Games by Comp Inc. The terms of the deal were completely transparent. By next quarter, they'll be available to any Comp Inc. stockholder. Cleo and I found evidence that you had connected with somebody in the area for a secret meeting. Or maybe that was the steakhouse receipt. Before arriving at the hotel, you had paid for dinner at the restaurant in Torino with an unknown guest. Who was it? I can guarantee that my personal dinner guest was not someone who is here in this room now. Who says I need to disclose my personal dinner plans or list my business associates? I'm under no such obligation to the deceased or to any of you. Your mission of this rendezvous is important, regardless. It shows that your dealings with my father haven't been entirely above board and trustworthy. Lana Kramer, are you really in the position to point the finger of suspicion? Maybe you should take a look at your green face in the mirror first. Hey, what did I do? You were planning to theatrically fake your own death to get your father's attention. The White Lady ghost legend tells of a hooded, veiled spirit haunting this region of the mountains. At least one person here claimed to see someone dressed in a white veil and hood. You're a professional costume designer, and I found this item in the hotel basement which could have provided you with a disguise. Costume box. The costume box. You could have stored your costume, which looked like the White Lady ghost, in the box of your costumes. It would have been easiest for you out of everyone to disguise yourself. I did make a costume like that, but not for myself. I sold it already. It was a commission by an anonymous buyer on the internet. If I had a costume like that, then tell me, where is it now? I bet she did it for attention, or was it for Daddy's money instead? Do you want to have a conversation about looking for money now, Mr. Lipson? What are you talking about? Some people do ruthless, desperate things for money, wouldn't you agree? I'm just a professional bodyguard. Somebody who was physically close to the victim in his office saw an opportunity. After we unlocked the victim's hotel suite, Cleo and I discovered something that somebody had planned to use against Mr. Kramer. For money. Okay, it's our blackmail photos. The folder with photographs that was intended to be used as blackmail. You found out about something shady and illegal that your boss had done and decided to try and use it for your own personal gain. You were planning to blackmail Billy Kramer the First. How did you find out about that? Let's just say I know someone scary who can read your thoughts. Oh, right, it's true. I was going to blackmail my boss because I found out his move to terminate Sandra Berg was legal and expensive. But I didn't kill him. Then how would I get the money? What a sleazy and opportunistic thing to do. How do we know you didn't kill him because you found out about your blackmail scheme? Ms. Berg, you're free to make a conjecture about somebody else's motive, but I should remind you that you're the only person here who openly threatened the victim. I found this item in your hotel room, which confirms your grudge against the victim, as well as your motive for murder. The pink slip. The pink slip. After you found out you had been terminated and lost your bonus from the Hack Division buyout deal, you came here to threaten your former boss. You even suggested you'd kill him. I never should have come here. It would have been smarter to take my chances in court. I admit that what I said was stupid, but I didn't kill him. That might as well be confession. When will the police show up and arrest her? How convenient it was that Sandra Berg had just been fired. How convenient for you and your father, don't you think? What? What are you talking about? She was going to kill him. What could have made Sandra Berg so angry that she uttered such a threat in public? Why was she fired? When I found this item, I was able to gain insight into Hack Division's finances. It revealed the true motive for Sandra Berg's firing. Sorry. That would be the balance sheet. Hack Division's company balance sheet. Sandra Berg stood to make an enormous commission from the sale of the company, and your father wanted to keep that money for himself. Your father needed an accomplice to plant the death threat in Sandra Berg's belongings and frame her for it. The senior Billy Kramer's bodyguard, Ty Lipson, found out about the plot and intended to blackmail him. You also were in line to lead the company in the event of your father's death. So what you're saying is, if we follow the money, then we'll discover the culprit. Follow the money? Yes, it's like a treasure hunt. Wouldn't you say so, Mr. Russo? 2 years ago, you overheard a conversation between Ms. Russo, between Gary Small and the deceased game designer, Lord Russell Gallant, about a priceless treasure on this mountain. A treasure you wanted to find badly enough that you even scared away all your hotel guests. Cleo and I found this item, which proves that despite being a scenic tourist destination, the Christie de Montagna Hotel has had almost no guests during the last 2 years. Hotel logbook? Hotel logbook. You've been scaring guests away from this hotel for 2 years, which is exactly when you overheard the conversation about Russell Gallant's treasure. A treasure that despite your best efforts you were unable to find. You used the Alpine Ghost legend of the White Lady for your own benefit and planted the folklore book for anyone in your hotel to see. You planned these horrifying electrical power blackouts to happen just like clockwork, and the ghostly singing. I used to train as an opera singer in Siena. Hey, wait, there's no ghost? That's what you're saying? The whole thing was faked? This was all because of that time you heard my old friend tell me about their treasure, and you had the nerve to scare everyone because of it? The innkeeper isn't the only one here who knows about scaring people, Mr. Small. Would you also like to tell us what you know about making threats? What? When we explored Billy Kramer's hotel room, the Emperor's suite, Cleo and I found something that was intended to make him fear for his life. The death threat that was sent to the senior Mr. Kramer. Billy Kramer and his son pinned the death on Sandra Berg as an excuse to have her fired, but she was not the one who sensed it. Who was it? Who else stood to lose a lot from Activision Games being bought out by Comp Inc.? Was there someone else worse whose job was in jeopardy? Alright, I admit it. I sent a death threat. I figured that I'd be laid off when Comp Inc. gained creative control over Paladin Dream, and I didn't want that to happen. So then I took the fall for you? I'm sorry, I was looking out for myself. I had no idea any of this would happen. You deceived your own employer. The death threat was just a trick from a desperate employee hoping to hold on to their position in the company. How unethical. You want to talk about ethics, Miss Winters? How about the ethics of impersonating your boss? Well, when we found that pink slip that victim wrote, we noticed that it was signed Billy. However, the victim's letter we received in the mail was signed William Kramer I. This inconsistency suggested that these two documents were actually written by two different people. Miss Berg's pink slip was obviously genuine. So then our letter was composed by someone else who was pretending to be Billy Kramer I. I told you that my father would never contact you. Am I right or am I right? When we found this clue, we discovered that somebody admitted to impersonating Billy Kramer. Employee's notebook. The employee's notebook. The murder victim never wrote to Cleo and I, never warned us about the death threats, and never sent us any airline tickets to Italy. These actions were all performed by senior Mr. Kramer's secretary, Carol Winters. I only did it to protect my boss, to protect the company, the employees. You embezzled money from the company to pay airline fare for a detective and a dog? How dare you? As you can see, Billy really was murdered. Are you planning to actually do anything about it, detective? This public shaming of all of us has gone on quite long enough. Solve the case or I'll break your face. When pondering over a solution, I had 4 questions that kept bothering me. When did the murder happen? Why did the lights go off the first time? How did the killer escape? Why did the lights go off again for the second time later? Do you have the answers? At first, the murder seemed physically impossible. The senior Mr. Kramer was stabbed in the den while the lights were out, with his faithful bodyguard outside the door. That does seem impossible. There's no way anybody could have snuck around Ty Lipson and gone in or out of the den in pitch black. We're all led to assume that the murder happened during the first blackout. But what if the murder really happened before the lights were out? What if Billy Kramer I was already dead when the lights went out? And the murder was actually committed earlier? It seems impossible, but because it was impossible. When was Billy... Before the first blackout. When was Billy Kramer first murdered? The victim was already dead by the time the innkeeper's spooky charade happened. When did the lights go out for the first time? Why did the lights? A supernatural occurrence? A supernatural occurrence. What? That explanation is not consistent with the facts. Why did the lights go out the first time? What do you mean by the first time? Okay, I was so confused. Sorry, okay, I mean, I guess that's because the destroying evidence was like the outlier of the 2 answers there. Though I don't understand how the first one... Because the first one technically is also, but it's just the fake reasoning. The innkeeper was scaring guests away so she could look for the treasure. You already told us that, detective. This deranged innkeeper here had engineered the blackouts to scare her guests away. Can we end this inquest now? Because I haunted my hotel doesn't mean I killed some business tycoon. But you're the only one here who knew about the lights going to go out. That's where you're wrong, Mr. Dillman. The snowmobile driver also knew about my plan. He helped me rig up the electrical room controls for the timed blackout. The snowmobile driver, but he left the hotel a long time ago. How can you accuse someone who isn't even actually here, detective? Anna Russo may not have told anybody else about her methods of scaring away the hotel guests, but the snowmobile driver ran his mouth. When Cleo and I were riding to the Cressy di Montego Hotel, the The driver hinted to us about the mysterious happenings going on. Hey, they say the Cressy de Montego Hotel and the surrounding area is haunted. I guess you two haven't heard of the White Lady before. If you treat me to steak dinner and a couple of rounds of drinks sometimes, I'll tell you all about it too. A steak dinner and a couple of rounds of drinks. Personally, I've lost my appetite. Why are you bringing this up, detective? At the time the snowmobile driver said that, I wasn't sure what to think either. The clue connects the snowmobile driver to one of the other hotel guests. One of you had taken him up on his offer, and he told you everything about the rigged power outage and the phony ghost curse. Who else met with the snowmobile driver? Same person who took him out to a fancy steak dinner in Torino, Ned Dillman. Alright, it's true. I went out for dinner with the snowmobile driver. My signature is on the receipt. Your dinner guest may not be one of us, but he was someone who knew about what was going on at this hotel. I see. And the snowmobile driver told you all about how he and I set up the electrical blackouts. What connection could this have to the lights going out for the second time? If the killer didn't enter or exit the den during the blackout, then that person must have been in the room already. Who went into the den? We know the murder victim was alive when Sandra Berg barged into the den to protest her termination from the firm. He sure was alive. Alive and just as slimy as ever. How can you talk about my wonderful father like that? Sometime after that, but before the lights went out, Ty Lipson says he saw Lana Kramer leaving the den wearing one of her spooky costumes. It wasn't me, I never went to the den. I was passed out in bed. My boss was still alive when that happened. I could still hear him speaking from outside the door to the room. How is it possible that nobody saw the senior Billy Kramer's killer leave the den? I saw his daughter leaving the den wearing that costume. She scared the hell out of me. No, that's not possible. It's true, I helped Lana to bed. I can assure you that she was in no state to do any such thing. Cleo and I found this item in the basement which worked as a sedative for Mr. Kramer. The bottle of grappa she drank from. Lena Kramer was so sedated that she slept through the murder and the blackout. The girl must have drank an awful lot. The bottle was drugged? It must have been. Not so. When Cleo examined the bottle of grappa, she determined that it was clean. Then why did Lana get so sleepy? I can answer that one. What? We're up in the mountains. Since Lana arrived here recently, her body has not adjusted to the lower oxygen levels, so the alcohol had a stronger effect. I see. Then there's a natural reason why the liquor hit my system so hard. What does my sister's drinking problem have to do with solving my father's murder? Establishes that it couldn't have been Lana that Ty Lipson saw leaving the den wearing that costume. How did the killer escape from the den wearing the costume? The murderer put on the ghostly costume which scared the victim's bodyguard, leaving in plain sight. Finally, the reason for the second blackout. Obviously, more of the innkeeper tried to frighten us into believing in her lurid ghost story. I'm not so sure. I didn't hear any more of her spooky singing this time. All I heard was the window in the den being smashed open. I agree, I didn't hear any singing the second time either. Who broke the den window, and why did they do it? Yeah, it's getting chilly in here. Are we almost done with this, detective? Did you find any new clues in here? Nothing new was added, but something that was here earlier has been removed. After the second power outage, Cleo and I discovered that this time, this item had been thrown out the window. Where is the... Oh, sorry, the first one. Computer speaker. The computer speakers were gone. The speakers had been tossed out the broken window. Why did the killer need to get rid of the computer speakers? What were they trying to hide? Ty Lipson could hear his boss speaking outside the door to the den, but could not see him. We have only the overheard sound of his voice to verify that Billy Kramer I was still alive between the interval after the White Lady Ghost exited the room and when the lights went out. That's because the voice he heard was a recording of his boss's voice played through the speakers. Billy Kramer I was already dead. Our murderous ghost, assumed to be Lana Kramer, had already left the scene hidden in plain sight. Why did the lights go out again for the second time? To destroy evidence. The killers shut the power off in order to get rid of the computer speakers. Who did it, detective? Who killed my father? Sounds like you know the identity of the person wearing the ghost costume, even if Ty never saw the person's face. Do you know? Everybody present had a motive. It could have been a frustrated, money-hungry bodyguard whose employer had foiled his blackmail scheme. Or was it the secretary who was brazen enough to embezzle money and impersonate her boss? How about a creative director who was so worried about losing his job that he sent the murder victim a death threat? What about a wayward attention-seeking daughter? Or a disgruntled former employee who felt she was wronged by the victim? It could have been the lawyer sitting on the other side of the desk on a deal that was so important to both parties. Could it have been the victim's son who was poised to take over the company? There's also the suspicious innkeeper who was determined to scare away all the hotel guests. Tell us! The murder of Billy Kramer I, the president and CEO of Hitheryon Games, is... It was Ned Dillman, the lawyer from Comp Inc. Okay, so... I mean, I feel like we got that pretty early on. So... What's the reason for this mockery of an accusation, detective? I'll see you in court for defamation of character over this. I'm even going to sue your dog. You were the only one who was alone with the victim before Ty Lipson saw the ghostly figure leaving the den after you committed murder. I gotta say, Mr. Dolman, this deal I've worked out with you and Comp Inc. is finally going to give me all the money I'll ever need. Yes, well, you drive a hard bargain. True to form, Mr. Kramer. Call me Billy, please. The fortune I'm about to amass, I'm planning to start a new publishing company. I'm going to publish video games the right way. No more microtransactions, no more digital rights management, and no more milking the players for cash. I'm going to start treating my employees with dignity and respect. No more mandatory forced overtime crunches. And most of all, I'm going to spend more time with my children, Billy Jr. and Lana. They need my help, and I'm going to be there for them as a father. Mark my words, Mr. Dillman, after your employer buys out my company for these generous terms, you're going to see a very different... I'm afraid that won't be happening since the deal fell through. What do you mean the deal fell through? We're about to sign the last contract. I also drive a hard bargain. Then you killed him. How did he get behind him to stab him in the back? But okay, after stabbing Billy Kramer, you used the computer speaker to play a pre-recorded conversation with his voice. That way the time of death was obfuscated and it seemed as though he was still alive. You then put on the White Lady ghost costume, which served as a disguise while you left the den. The victim's bodyguard mistook you for Lana, the costume designer. It's ridiculous, detective. Why would I kill Billy Kramer I? My company was about to buy Hitheryon Games from him. After his unfortunate death, the whole deal will have to be renegotiated from scratch. Why would I want that to happen? Because it wasn't a great deal for you guys. That's exactly why you killed him. To stop the deal? No, you killed him so that you could then get a better deal. How? Billy Kramer Sr. was well known in the industry for being a strong-armed negotiator. He was very perceptive at observing the other side's weakness and exploiting them for his own gains. You got that right, detective. He was ruthless at the bargaining table. But in the event of his death, who takes control of Hitheryon Games? I do, of course. Well, Billy Kramer I, the father, was a shrewd and intelligent businessman capable of devising the best deal possible for his interest. Billy Kramer II, the son, was not. And that's why he was murdered, so that in the result of his death, Comp Inc. could renegotiate the contract with Billy Jr. and get more favorable terms. How dare you insult me, detective? My father taught me everything he knows. He may have tried, but were you paying attention? You're right, Cleo. There has to be a way I can show everyone that Billy Kramer II lacks his father's business acumen. We're really just gonna put on the costume? Hey, police dog, you made it. Woof. Are you close to solving the mystery? Ruff, ruff. Good, because I want to see this episode as soon as it turns on TV. Next time there's a big important meeting, I promise I'm going to duck out and watch the show. That's what I always do, isn't it? It's much more fun than all this hard work. Billy Kramer II isn't prepared to run his father's company, and Ned Dillman figured that out. As Comp Inc.'s lawyer, if he could find a better way to negotiate, he could find a way to negotiate better terms for his employer, he certainly would have been promised a strong financial incentive. To your cases, I stabbed Billy Kramer I, and I put on that ghost disguise that was witnessed by his bodyguard. The way I see it, unless you are able to produce this ghostly costume, your whole theory falls apart. There was a ghost costume. Cleo and I crossed paths with you in the lounge during the second time the electricity was turned off. Are you able to produce this alleged ghost disguise now, or has it disappeared? Where could the ghost costume have gone? Or has it to be someplace we haven't looked yet? Lawyer's briefcase. A lawyer's briefcase. He's been carrying it with him this whole time. Would you care to open your briefcase, Mr. Dillman? Contents of my briefcase are property of Comp Inc. And if any of you lay one finger on it, then you'll be violating confidentiality. Oh, knock it off already. Give me that. Get away from me, all of you. You got nowhere to go. The snowstorm is starting to let out. We'll be able to reach the police soon. No, you won't get me. At that instant, Ned Dillman attempted to escape. He was stopped by the burly Ty Lipson, who restrained him until the blizzard subsided. The innkeeper called the police, and the killer was taken away. I'm sorry, did he forget there's nothing on the other side of the window? Just a steep cliff? Epilogue. After the mystery was solved, all the other guests from Hitheryon Games left the hotel. As fate would have it, Comp Inc.'s deal to buy Hitheryon Games was blocked by European Union antitrust laws. Once news of the game publisher's murder came out, the two companies awkwardly drifted apart. For the rest of the week, Cleo and I had an entire alpine ski resort all to ourselves. Although I'm not much of a skier, Cleo can really fly down those steep mountain slopes. Cleo, you're doing great. I'll meet you at the bottom of the mountain. There was, oh my god. I'm not even pressing shift right now. Oh my god. I'm missing all these treats. No! Come on. Oh, you're kidding me. Fine, sure. Oh, come on. You have to literally memorize. I'm going to lose my mind. No! Come on. No, if I was just like a bit off to the side. There we go, 25-25, that's all I wanted. No, we're not doing it again. To hell with you, we're not doing it again. I never need to press shift for that. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's because I have the dash is always on. After their return as a special treat to celebrate solving the mystery, Guy served Chloe her favorite non-traditional Italian delicacy. Vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry gelato poutine. What? What? What is this combination? Sorry, poutine. Fries, it's double fried. You put gravy on it, cheese curds. Or cheese curds and then the gravy to melt the cheese curds and all that. But like, and then you put ice cream on top? I'm not feeling this. Mengia Ben Cleo. It says the guy kept the rusty old paladin sword as a memento of his time in the Italian Alps. to encourage him to keep solving more spooky mysteries with his dog. Still haven't played the Paladin Dream video game. Maybe another time. Okay. I'm sorry. That dish. Why would you do that to your dog? And so Detective Guy and Cleo, the clue-sniffing dog, have made it through another spooky mystery together. But what new adventure will their future hold? Until next time. Ugh, sorry, I'm like disgusted right now. I can't. No, not the poutine with the Neapolitan ice cream on top. Alright, so... okay. I mean, so I think this one... it was, I think, very early on. Because if you note right away that, like, how... If Ty didn't know this... the lawyer outside the hotel room, then leaving the hotel room, then like how can he be out there in the lobby questioning why Guy and Cleo were there. Alright then. Yeah, no, I think I like the first one better in terms of the whole mystery thing. It's like, I mean, I guess really realistically, because their only two options would have been Sarah Berg and Nell Dillman. But then at the same time, it's like, it seemed very obviously to be Nell Dillman. The poutine with the ice cream. I mean, I've heard, like, you know, dipping a fry into, like, a milkshake, which is, I mean, that's the closest it's gonna get, but then that poutine has gravy on it, so I don't know, I don't like that. No. Either way, that's it for Murder is Game Over Deal Killer. So next one, I believe, is, I can't remember, it's streaming in the title, but that will be the next one. Either way, thank you for liking if you liked, thank you for commenting if you commented, thank you for subscribing if you subscribed, and thank you for simply clicking on this video. Until next time, guys, see ya!